And we are ready for our next one, which is gonna be Avatar: The Last Airbender into the Inferno, a show that I love to watch in the morning, and it's still morning here, so it's a good thing to have it here. And we have Siver, we have Double, with all Lotus Shards. Good luck!
Thank you, Rashla. All right. I mean, Rashla basically took all the intro away from me, so I say we just get right into the game. Time will start as soon as I hit play here, so if you guys want to give me a countdown.
3, 2, 1, go!
All right, so welcome to Avatar: The Last Airbender into the Inferno on the DS with the category All Lotus Shards. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it really isn't that bad. So basically, All Lotus Shards is the 100% category for this game. Each level has 5 Lotus Shards plus a coin requirement for a 6th Lotus Shard. So not only will I be going out of my way to complete some extra puzzles and extra steps to get all the collectibles, I'll also be collecting coins, watching my coins. There's a lot of coin management, basically. And yeah, a little bit about this game itself. It stays very true to the original series. So if you've ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, you're gonna recognize a lot of the events in this game, specifically in Book 3, Fire.
Yeah, the way the animated series is set up, it's divided into 3 seasons, and the actual series uses the term books to define each of the seasons. And the video games, the licensed games that were made for this series, kind of follow the same principle. There's the original Avatar: The Last Airbender, which covers Book 1, or is set in the time period of Book 1. Then there's the Burning Earth, the sequel, which covers Book 2. And then there's Into the Inferno, which covers Book 3. Now, you may have played this game before, yet it looks very unfamiliar. And that's because there's a few differences, a few version differences between this. The console versions of this game, they have a different visual style to them, and they're more combat-oriented. Whereas this game, it has this extremely cute chibi art style, and it's a lot more puzzle-focused.
Yeah.
The combat in this game is very simple. There is some, and you will be seeing some of it in this stage. But yeah, it's so simple it doesn't really need explaining.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have the 2 main characters. This is a setup for every stage. You control 2 main characters from Team Avatar. For this first stage, you control Aang and Katara. You can, there's 2 main controls with character management. You can switch between the characters, and you can disconnect the characters or reattach them when you walk the character to another. So yeah, disconnect the characters here. Move on with Katara, picking up another Lotus Shard. And the actual Avatar properties do translate into this game. Katara can only bend water, whereas Aang can bend all elements except for fire. As per the story that the game follows, we will be able to bend fire as Aang later on. And yeah, then there's the elemental gates here, where only a specific person can walk through. The water gates, only Katara can walk through. The air gates, only Aang can walk through. And yeah, here's the combat. Just tap on people.
Yeah, this entire game is completely controlled by touchscreen. So basically anything you can do with the touchscreen, that's why I'm going to be looking down all the time. You can designate some actions to buttons. So you can switch characters with left or right on the D-pad. You can split with up or down. And I'm going to be using that a lot because it's just a bit more convenient. Oops.
And yeah, there's one more ability that you can use with a button that will be unlocking in the next stage, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, and there will be. So yeah, you see the buttons at the bottom right of the touchscreen. That's where you tap to use the touchscreen function to use those actions. But it is, at the very least for the speedrun, it's more convenient to use buttons, so you can play this game with 2 hands.
We got some slippery floor here. Might fall off here. Nope, it's fine. All right, perfect. That's all 5 Lotus Shards. Now we just got to get to the end, get a little more coins. The coin management is very different for each level. So in this first level, it's a lot more forgiving. There's more than 200 coins in this level, and we need a 100 at the end of it.
Yeah.
Whereas the next stage, for example, it's going to be a bit tighter. Oh, there's more.
Yeah. So yeah, here's a new thing with the fight. There's this, this water, this pool of water that we could draw from to fight the enemies with, and the amount of damage you do, the enemies take 3 melee hits, as you saw before. But yeah, with the elements, you can take them down in 2, and that's dependent on the momentum. The more momentum the element object has, the more damage it does. So yeah, when it has a little bit of momentum, it'll do 1 damage. When it has a lot of momentum, it'll do 2 damage. So you can 2-shot everybody.
That also applies to crates, by the way.
Yeah, the damage that crates take is also dependent on the momentum of the object.
Just a few more fights here.
Yeah, this already seems very easy to just 2-hit enemies by just boomeranging the object. But there will be a way to 1-shot people later on.
Couple actually. Alright, so that was the first level. Relatively simple, nothing too unusual just yet. Basically just a nice introduction to get you accustomed to the mechanics of the game. Alright, and this next stage is going to introduce special abilities. Each character has 1 or 2 unique special abilities to them. And from this level going forward, these special abilities will be heavily utilized in the puzzles of each level. So Katara will be able to create an ice bridge, which allows us to cross pools of water. And Aang gets to use tornadoes, which we can use to fling ourselves across gaps.
But not just across gaps.
Yeah, Aang's tornado has some special properties, and this level will show that off very well. But more on that once we actually get there. So yeah, this will once again be an Aang and Katara level. So same constellation as before, but it's gonna go a lot different this time.
Yeah, like the game does a pretty good job of easing you in. Like it doesn't. This stage focuses on teaching you the special ability that's now been unlocked. The question mark panel over there, you can step on that to have. What's the name? Momo.
Yeah, Momo.
Yeah. Momo will teach you about the special abilities and how to do them with and you press down on the touchscreen, then draw several circles, and then you can make a tornado. And yeah, with Katara you activate the ability and draw on top of water to create ice patches, hexagonal ice patches. Shout out to Settlers of Catan. Had to get that in there.
Make sure to collect some coins here because coin requirement is a little tighter in this level. It's not always 100 coins, it always changes depending on how many coins are available. So here we have roughly 86 coins, I think it was, and we need 50. So a little tighter. Fling Katara across that gap real quick.
So yeah, a lot of the speedruns come down to just knowing the puzzles and knowing the solution of the puzzles from just having to play the game several times. And yeah, with these fight arenas, you just know where the enemies come from, know when the encounter's over, so you can just immediately move on. This is a big box that takes a lot of hits.
It's the only one of its kind.
So yeah, I mentioned earlier that the property of Aang being the avatar and can bend all elements. That is also it was taught in the previous stage when there was earth patches that Aang can pull boulders from, even though he starts out as an earthbender.
All right, so usually you want to keep both characters together at all times. There will be several places in the game where it checks for if you still have both characters. I like to call them team checks. But towards the end of stages, they usually do not have them. So right here, I just leave Katara behind and just do the rest of the level only as Aang to save a little bit of time. And we'll be using that a lot in this level specifically. There's also other ways with how the game ensures that you have both characters. For example, you need to solve a puzzle at the very end that you can only do with the abilities of both characters. So now we're going to backtrack to this section. Once again, we can do this with just Aang, so Katara will once again stay behind, but it's okay. She'll join us up for the next section again.
Yeah, so the lower platforms that we had before is now all replaced by lava, which if you fall in, it's basically falling into a bottomless pit. And every time you take damage, one of the sides of the screen will get a red glow. And that will go away over time, as we casually do the thing we should be explaining instead.
Yeah, don't mind that. What I just did.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
No, but to finish the thought, the red lines you can see it at the bottom of the screen right now. That was on purpose to showcase that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and as you take more hits, more sides of the screen will get that red glow. And when you take a hit when all four are red, that's when you get a game over. They go away over time as long as you don't take damage, so it's not likely to happen. And I'm setting you up for failure by saying that.
Yeah, there's a specific boss fight later on that might just meme me a little if I'm not careful. But yeah, I'll explain what I just did with the tornadoes and going out of bounds in just a bit. There will be a longer segment coming up just now. Just gonna collect our last few coins here. All right. So, basically, some out-of-bounds patches have ground, and whenever there's a thin wall separating the inbounds area from the out-of-bounds area, you can place a tornado barely behind the wall to pull you through into the out-of-bounds segment, which allows us to skip quite a bit of the level. Gonna have to go back in here. This clip back inbounds is a bit awkward because there's a gap right here. You can't see it, but yeah, I can't just walk over there.
Yeah, and it's really particular where you can and can't walk out of bounds, or where there is ground and where there's a gap. Also, yeah, you waited for the Firebender to shoot a ball of fire, then deflect it with the boulder into the pillar over there, because that opens that gate and gets this Lotus Shard. If you take out the enemies without lighting that fire, you lock yourself out of that Lotus Shard.
There's a couple of Lotus Shards that you can lock yourself out of in this run.
It will be clipping out of bounds again, and it's... Yeah, the way it's set up is mostly they made a big stage. They made a big stage to start with flat ground everywhere, and then as development progresses, they make the actual proper stage, and then it's like the grounded parts that aren't used, they cordon off with a wall.
All right. This is actually a brand new strat that I just found. This updated clip. Usually I clip back inbounds with where the elemental gates are. This is a bit more difficult. There we go. You can clip right back in behind the gate.
Yeah, because one thing we haven't explained yet is that the game can sometimes be very particular where it allows you to place the tornado. So if you see like a little puffy explosion with nothing happening, that is Siver trying to place a tornado, but the game says no.
Yeah, it's when you try and place one too close to a wall, for example. All right, one last segment here. Oh yeah, by the way, at the end of that segment, there was another team check that we bypassed using tornadoes, clipping. Really fun tech, and unfortunately, it's limited to levels where you have Aang, so... Yeah, there's only a handful of levels where we get to do stuff like this, and this is one of them.
Yeah, the tornadoes are really the only surefire way to clip out of bounds in places where it is possible. I want to make a quick reference to the practice that I've witnessed Siver do, in which we also found another way to clip in the walls. Unfortunately, not useful. But yeah, the stage had like moving platforms that you stood on and waited. Some of them moved back and forth. Others moved back and forth through a wall. And as it turns out, if you stand on one, pause, then wait a second or two, and then unpause, you're inside the wall.
Yeah, I found quite a few things in the practice room. It's kind of stupid how broken this game suddenly is. Alright, here's going to be our first level with a different character constellation. We're still going to have Katara, but now we have Toph, an Earthbender, and her special abilities will be the bread and butter of any Toph level.
Also, a lot of people's favorite character.
She is a great character in the series.
Shout out to the YouTube videos of Toph being full of stats for 6 minutes.
Yeah, basically, Toph as a character is blind and uses the vibrations of the earth around her to basically see. And there's a lot of jokes in the animated series about that, and where people are like, hey, can you read this for me? And Toph is like, dude, I'm blind.
So yeah, Toph is an Earthbender, so yeah, her special ability is moving these blocks around. And also one ability that you already have unlocked, but I believe it does not appear in this stage. So we'll be seeing that later.
Oop.
Yeah.
A lot of enemies here.
Also, all the characters do the same damage with their melee attack, so it doesn't matter who you use.
Oh, wait. It's a little speed strat you can do here. Just ride the earth block over here. Save a little bit of travel time.
Yeah, because moving the you move the earth blocks faster than you can run, so it is faster to stand on them and move them. The added weight, Toph's really strong, so the added weight does nothing to slow it down. It goes at the same speed regardless of how many people are on it.
Yeah, I'm collecting coins that are inside the crate here. Because they stuffed 4 coins into a very small crate, the coin hitboxes are bleeding out, so you can collect them without having to break the box. Same with this one right here. Yeah, okay, got it.
Also, one tricky thing with managing your characters is what Siver just did is disconnecting, leaving Toph on the pressure plate. Yeah, you have to kind of time when you disconnect, because the character you're not controlling kind of follows you around. But when you disconnect, they stay in place wherever they are, and you have technically you technically have some control over where the following character goes, but
there's also certain places in the levels where they just don't let you disconnect for some reason. It's like you can hit the button as much as you want, but the game just refuses to split you up.
Okay, shout out to breaking this puzzle. So you're meant to hit all 4 switches to lower all 4 gates so you can run through, except yeah, as Siver just did, he left Toph in place, ran through the final gate, and just wrapped up the stage. You don't need Katara for that section. You only need Toph to break the boxes and get to the end, and there's no team check. Yeah, that's an example of using team checks, or using the lack of team checks at the end to your advantage.
Gonna take one of these blocks on a wild adventure here. We're just gonna get pushed along here.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to stand on top. You can also just push it into you, and you'll also move at the block moving speed.
Have to collect some extra coins here.
Yeah.
Looks a bit weird, but it works. Okay.
Yeah. The coin routing is probably the most interesting part. The most interesting part of this of this category.
Yeah, for sure. And also with tornado clipping, just in the levels where it's applicable, finding the places where you can afford to clip out of bounds. Because, like, for example, the arms factory, which was the previous level, looks slightly different than any percent. You can stay out of bounds just a bit longer. Oh, hey, you actually didn't die. Okay.
Yeah, because as you can imagine, there are places where you can clip out of bounds and skip things, but you'll be missing out on a Lotus Shard. So that we cannot do here. It helps give both categories their own identity.
Yeah, little skip I did right there. These fence gates, not fences, I don't know. These iron gates that you usually can trigger with switches basically count as 2-block tall walls. So if you're standing on a 2-block tall block, you can just run over them.
Yeah.
Helps save a little bit of time there.
Yeah. And also, now the main reason for why there's specifically 2 characters here is because this game has cooperative multiplayer. Specifically for 2 players. So, if you... and I believe you can play the full game through download play.
I think so, maybe.
I believe download play is just necessary for the other person to join. So if you have this game and you have a buddy, just boot it up and have some fun with it.
It's a bit laggy though. Fair warning.
Yeah, I remember back in BSG Annual 2018. It's 4 years ago. Boy, how time flies. But yeah, I brought my copy of the game to Annual, and we gave the co-op a shot, and yeah, it was pretty hilarious when we noticed how slow the game runs with 2 people playing separately.
All right, so we finished the level. We now have our first boss fight of the run, Combustion Man, or as Sokka likes to call him, the Sparky Sparky Boom Man. We're gonna face this one as Aang and Toph.
Sokka, the master of naming things. This is technically not a boss fight because there's no health bar, but yeah, the way this works is you have to hit him and then you yeah, this is just a run away from the boss you can't damage kind of fight.
Oh, okay, that was interesting. The explosion of the other block actually broke the other block.
Yeah.
Never done it like that before, but hey, it works. Owie.
Would you say this never happened before?
Yep.
Go add that to the counter. Well, yeah, this game this fight alternates phases where you have to make him explode a block and then hit him, and then running away and have him blow up the boxes you can advance.
All right, 3 levels down. So far, so good.
Yeah. This, I believe, is the final stage of Chapter 1?
Yes. It's also my favorite, one of, if not my favorite stage in the run. It's the introduction of Sokka in the game, which is one of the best characters in the speedrun for multiple reasons.
Yeah, especially early on, the series has a lot of digs at Sokka for being less useful in a fight due to not having bending powers. And yeah, this game completely flips it on its head by making Sokka the strongest character in fights out of everyone.
I wouldn't say he's the strongest, but he's definitely one of the best. Unfortunately, we won't see his combat prowess in this stage because this stage is purely puzzle, no combat whatsoever.
Yeah, this is... Oh. So Sokka's special ability is his boomerang, where you can draw a line and it will roughly follow the path you're drawing. And yeah, here's Toph's second ability is raising and lowering earth pillars. Here's a here's a special bonus area you got away. There's a Lotus Shard and a lot of coins, so it's for this category it's a good place to be. Yeah, there's the 2 different types of block as well. One has spikes on top of them. You can't stand on that. If you try to stand on it, you take damage. You can only stand on the ones with flat tops.
You can also see how Toph's two abilities kind of play into each other. You can put earth blocks on top of the pillars and then raise those pillars and stack them on other blocks. That's basically the gist of most levels with Toph going forward.
Yeah, a lot of the maneuvering through this using this mechanic is managing your height relative to the platform you're advancing onto. If the platform's right in your face, you can jump one block high. If there's a gap, then it needs to be the same height. And yeah, a lot of the puzzles revolve around that. Is like putting things at the right height for you to advance.
Yep. This part of the stage you can do without Sokka, and I actually didn't know that for the longest time. Shoutouts to Double for pointing that out to me. Like, hey, can't you just leave Sokka behind there? Then I did that, and I was like, oh, that actually saves time.
Yeah, I've toyed around with this. I've had this on my long list of speedruns I've been interested in picking up.
The ever-growing list.
Yeah, so many games, so little time.
Yeah.
I think most of us speedrunners know that struggle.
We got a question from chat
right.
asking, what are the coins and the white lotuses for?
You can unlock some extra characters for a mini game. There's another thing you can do with wireless play. It's basically a volleyball mini game, and you can unlock additional characters with it, and some costumes.
Yeah, but yeah, as a speedrun category, it's just what we have for this game as a 100%. As a 100%, so it's the completion, the completionist speedrun category.
Yeah, we're good on coins.
Also, yeah, the spikes on the floor there is the furthest you can drag that block for no reason.
Okay, yeah, that was a great example of the disconnect button just refusing to work. Just taking an extra lap there. That's okay. All right, straight into the second boss fight, which is going to be Hama, the body bender.
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier in the run that Katara has one additional special ability in addition to making ice pass, and this is where you get that ability. If you've seen the series, and you'll recognize the cutscenes and everything from the parts of the story that it is, and this is where bloodbending comes into play. In the actual series, there's a full moon as this happens, and the full moon powers up waterbenders. And yeah. So you activate your ability and you press down on the person and drag them over, and they get moved that way.
Please move.
You see these partially dark patches where the boss is. Depending on where she stands is how many water balls she throws.
Very straightforward boss fight.
Yeah, you can already get the full fight here, but it's very tight.
Yeah. Unfortunately, was a bit bad.
Usually do it in 3 pulls.
And that's the end of Chapter 1. All right, so now the game kicks into the next chapter with the invasion, the Day of the Black Sun. Basically, it's a solar eclipse. The plan is that firebenders draw their power from the sun. And when there's a solar eclipse, the firebenders are basically powerless. So Team Avatar is trying to use this as a great opportunity to beat the Fire Lord early. Even though Aang technically isn't master of the 4 elements yet.
No, because he still hasn't learned firebending.
Yep.
It's in the original Avatar lore, it's the It's generally the element that opposes the avatar's natural element is what they struggle with the most. As Aang's natural element is air, that means fire is the opposite to that. So that is what Aang struggles with the most. It's also the most different from Aang personality-wise. Because Aang's a very gentle person.
A pacifist, and fire is very destructive in nature.
Yeah, destructive, aggressive.
So here is Sokka's combat prowess. So from bodybending that firebender, they were stunned, and Sokka, for some reason, he's the only character that can do this. He can one-hit enemies when they are stunned. So we're going to be making a lot of use of that to speed up some fights.
Yeah, in this stage, there's two ways to stun enemies. Either use Katara's body bending ability on them in any capacity, or hit them with Sokka's boomerang.
Yeah, Sokka's boomerang can also stun him, and that's going to be incredibly useful, especially in the second half of the level.
Cool, you didn't double hit it.
Yeah, there's those switches when you body bend, they can be a bit wonky, and sometimes you double hit them. Same can happen with Sokka's boomerang if it flies in a particular way. Just got to be a bit careful with how you position yourself.
Yeah, it depends. It depends about the amount of time. Like after a certain amount of time, a boomerang, the boomerang going through will register as a second hit. And like it turns it off and on again, but that's not what we want.
Just taking Katara on a wild adventure across the 7 seas here.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, Sokka's other unique ability is being able to operate these machines. Yeah, that's the thing he specifically has to do. But yeah, something we haven't mentioned yet is the maximum amount of the longest ice path you can draw is 5 panels. But yeah, you may have noticed that in a couple of the sections from puzzles in earlier stages.
Be a little careful here. It's very easy to fall off.
Yeah, the game can be a little inconsistent sometimes with it allowing you to jump off a ledge versus just dumping you off.
Yeah, there's auto jumps in this game, so you have no control over when the character jumps.
Yeah, that's something we haven't mentioned yet. There's no jump button. The way to jump is by running off the ledge. Or in the case of jumping on top of a ledge is just running up it. Oh. One day we'll find a way to just get up there from the start. Would save literal minutes.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't be useful in a Lotus Shards, but yeah, any percent would be something. Oops, he's over there. So here's the introduction of shielded enemies. Usually, what you'd have to do to beat them is use Oh, I didn't actually kill him.
Yeah, you just kind of forgot about him.
So usually what you would have to do is use bending to hit them from behind. But the boomerang ignores shields, so we can just throw a boomerang and then slam them in the face. Pretty good.
The boomerang itself ignores shield, and it also disables shields entirely. Like you can just hit them from the... You can boomerang them and then hit them from the side they're shielding, and it will still work.
Yeah. Just another reason why Sokka is one of the best characters to use for combat. We'll get an even better character later, but it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, we're well and truly into the game now. So yeah, we're gonna be seeing more mix-ups in character sets, and the different combinations of 2 characters you can have are gonna be explored more. When you hit chapter 2, that's basically when the game assumes you know how to play.
Ooh, that auto jump. You don't always have to kill all the enemies right there. We can leave these two behind. Why waste any extra time getting rid of them?
Is it either two on one side, or is it specifically those two that let you...
Those two. Hold on. This one's a bit complicated.
Yeah, this is one of the more complex puzzles, and not really a way to skip anything. So this is just do the intended sequencing as fast as possible.
Yeah, there's a lot of switching back and forth. That is not going to reach. There we go.
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah, if I remember correctly, you cannot jump off of ice paths. So if the gap's too large, yeah, you will just drop into the water.
Yep.
And again, lava, water, emptiness, they all function the same as bottomless pits you fall into. Shadows to when the game drops you in the bottomless pit, but your model stays on top of the object you're falling off of. You just see you hear the sound of them falling into the pit, and you see the falling animation, but yeah, they just stay floating on top of the object, and then you respawn and take damage.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen because it's annoying. All right, so that was the invasion. All right, up next is my least favorite level in the run. It's the Secret Bunker. So it's an Aang and Toph level. And, you know, Aang, we've already showcased tornado clipping, but this level is so against the idea of you going out of bounds. There's either the walls are just too thick, or there's lava right in the out of bounds area. So there is unfortunately no good application of tornado clipping that I found in this level.
Yeah, this stage is such a tease.
And on top of that, you have this mechanic. Drying lava with water. It is, out of all the mechanics in this game, this is certainly one of them.
Yeah.
It's very slow, very tedious, very finicky.
Yeah, finicky, because, yeah, what Siver does when he drops the water balls in place is he actually has to physically hold the stylus in place to make the ball stop moving.
Ooh, that was weird.
If the ball has if the ball has any momentum, it will keep the momentum as you let go and plop in, and then likely will drop in a place you can't walk to. Okay, here, like super particular placement, leave no gaps, otherwise the game will be mean to you.
Yep. And you also can't place tornadoes on created lava patches, so yeah, you can't even skip a little bit of those things.
Yeah, it's very limiting.
The only upside to this level is that we don't have to worry about coins here.
Yeah, or the time limit. This stage gives you a 20-minute time limit, but this is even in casual settings, this is extremely generous.
Yeah. If I don't like majorly get stuck somewhere, I should be out of this stage with 15 minutes left on the timer.
Yeah, even in casual play, you'll likely have more than 5 minutes left.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yes, sir.
We got a €5 donation from Alec Rock saying, BSG Twitch mods donation, thank you donation. Thank you for all your love. Thank you very much, Alec Rocks.
Thank you. Bit of block rearranging here.
Yeah, so here there's gaps, so you have to be on equal level to jump over.
Oops.
Yeah. There's also not really any rhyme or reason to the height the pillars go. It just depends on what kind of pillars the developers place there for the purpose of the puzzle. If you can raise it by 1 or 2 levels. So yeah, this is another one of Toph's special abilities. Is she can bend metal blocks. Even though Aang is capable of earth bending, only Toph can bend metal.
Yeah, it's basically an advanced form of earthbending.
That Toph invented.
Yeah.
Over the course of the animated series, yeah, Toph actually. Yeah, there's a scene where Toph gets kidnapped and gets put in a metal cage, because as far as as it was known, metal could not be bent. But then,
Toph does it anyways.
yeah, Toph just magically finds the tiny earth particles inside the metal and is able to just bend the metal cage and escape.
Alright, here's the longest sequence of this.
Yeah.
Aren't you entertained? Alright.
Yeah.
Almost out now.
Yeah. And that long sequence is particularly obnoxious if it goes wrong, because if you don't space things correctly at any point and you have to backtrack, the lava platforms will also fade away after a while. So if you get stuck in the middle, you just have to let it fade away and drop into the lava, and then you get sent back to what your last grounded position was.
Yeah, not like it would matter if these patches were to stay, because you get sent back to the start anyway. So right here I'm gonna have a very particular setup, because the ceiling is actually too high in that part, so I can't immediately go back onto that stack. So I just kind of like make a little staircase with the blocks to get back on. All right.
Yeah. There's another case of no team checks at the end, so we can just, as soon as we don't need one of the characters, we just finish the stage with the other. Now here's Azula.
So here's our little bonus for completing the stage in under 20 minutes. Because it's still a solar eclipse and Azula's a firebender, she's kind of out of luck here. So we just get to beat her up for a moment. And that's also the reason why we don't have to worry about coins, because now... hello? There we go. You can just do that and get coins for free.
How dare you? Yeah, now fast forward to when the solar eclipse ends and Azula has her firebending powers back.
Yeah, and this is the most annoying boss fight in the entire run, so... Y'all like Pong?
Yeah. So now we have a boss fight with actually a health bar.
Yeah, this boss is actually Pong. I wasn't kidding.
Yeah, these earthbenders will have an earth block of their own to protect Azula. And the intended way to do this fight is to hit the earthbenders with a fireball to stun them, so they can't make.
Oh my god.
So they can't make an earth block. But yeah, redirecting the fireball to where you want is very difficult. And it's more like, okay, I'm gonna do this and hope it works.
Yep.
I believe if the ball travels slowly enough, you can get 2 hits with one ball, but that's even more difficult than just getting a regular hit.
Yeah, with every time the fireball touches a earth block, it speeds up. So you can end up with some pretty fast fireballs here.
And yeah, as the fight progresses, now that we're into phase 2, as you can see, one of the small parts of the health bar is gone. So we've gone through the first health bar. So now there's 2 fireballs. Also, yeah, I forget if there was an actual explanation for it, but yeah, Azula, the firebending Azula does is blow.
Oh my god.
It may have been, yeah. Like she may have made it so to seem more threatening. And yeah, now that we're on the final health bar, now there's 3 fireballs.
There's actually a rare case where you can get a Wilhelm scream there when one of the Daily guards gets hit. I'm glad we got to show that. It's very rare. All right.
Now she does a Kamehameha.
And suddenly she's gone. what a... That is a boss fight, all right. All right, we're now in the halfway point of the run. We're halfway done, so... Good progress so far. And this is also the part where Zuko joins Team Avatar. Because Zuko, he's the Prince of the Fire Nation, but he's a little unhappy with how things are going right now. So he's basically a fugitive and ends up joining Team Avatar to teach Aang firebending. But obviously, they're a little... They don't trust Zuko right off the bat because, you know, basically the first two seasons, he's been busy just, like, constantly hunting the Avatar, trying to capture him. Basically to impress his father, the Fire Lord. So they're a little skeptical at first.
Yeah, varying degrees of skeptical. Particularly Katara just doesn't trust him in the slightest.
Which is fair, you know.
Yeah, this cutscene also specifically made to set up you being with two characters.
Oh yeah, also remember Combustion Man? That's an assassin Zuko hired, and now Zuko will fight along with Sokka to stop him. So this is our first level with Zuko, and Zuko is a very interesting character. His unique ability is the Firewall, which can be used for quite a lot of different things. For example, we can use it to break crates, which we would usually need, you know, the elemental pellets for. Not required, though.
Yeah, there's various applications to the firewall.
Yeah, another very interesting property about the firewall is there's a lot of interactions with other special abilities from characters. And it also interacts with Sokka's boomerang, and we will get to see that later. Just gonna have to take a couple of detours here for the Lotus Shards.
Yeah. Also, if you make a firewall and then run into it, you take damage.
Yep.
So you can hurt yourself with it. Yeah, the machines are also back as per Sokka's mechanic.
Right here with two fast and well-aimed firewalls, you can one-cycle that. Just gonna avoid getting hit here.
Yeah, the getting hit animation is a little long. Also, this is also a property unique to the fireball. Is just it does constant damage to boxes it's in contact with. It's very low, but it's very low damage, but also very fast damage.
Oh, I missed a switch there. This is going to be awkward now. There we go.
Also, yeah, the green switches you can turn on and off if you hit them with a with an element. So you need to also be careful to yeah, if you hit some of them but not all of them, you have to be careful that you don't turn off ones that you've turned on already.
Well, okay, that was auto jump failing me.
Yeah, there's one of those cases.
Right here, I'm gonna use the boomerang to not have to walk all the way up to the switches. Just saves a little bit of... I didn't hit that? How? What? Hit the switch, dang it.
It's almost like you're walking off screen too fast, but that shouldn't be a thing.
Maybe it is that. I've never seen that before.
Oh, just full of never happened before, apparently.
Yep.
Yeah. Something I also wanted to mention about the way you play this game is we mentioned that there's dedicated buttons. So there's the up and down to split characters, or if they're still together, if you split them but they're still in range, you can also connect them back that way. But they also auto-connect if you just walk far enough and then back. Then with left and right you switch characters. With the L button you activate special abilities. Now this may seem like not too great of a control scheme if you're left-handed, but don't worry, developers got you covered because you can use the same buttons with the face buttons and R. So Y and A will also swap characters. X and B will split characters, and then the R button will also activate special abilities. You know, accessibility.
I just looked over at chat when the boomerang was trolling me and someone said, "That's rough, buddy." Thanks for that. I'd go out of our way to grab a few more coins. The Lotus Shards in this level are particularly evil. It's just one in a random box right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
the only real quote-unquote sane way of going through it is just breaking every box. But yeah, the Lotus Shards are...
All right, new strat here. Certain gates, once you've passed them, once the game detects you pass them, they stay open. And right there, it allows me to skip a puzzle.
Yeah.
By just walking on a gate and dropping Sokka out of bounds, basically. And then I just walk past him with Zuko, and Zuko picks him back up from out of bounds. A strat that I found yesterday. Okay, well, that's great.
So yeah, taking damage can also do that. Yeah,
Alright.
the gate staying open after one character passes is probably to not lock yourself out of... lock the other character out and getting separating them in a way you can reconnect them.
It's only certain gates as well.
Ah, well.
There's actually like some sort of logic behind it.
Okay, here we're using more of Sokka's combat prowess by stunning him with the stunning Combustion Man with the boomerang and just attacking him. The other way is trying to trick him into doing this. Blowing up a set of boxes. Also, that fire indicator staying on screen. Nice visual quirk.
Ooh. This fight can get a little dicey because he kind of reads your inputs. So I like have to move at specific times to avoid him hitting me multiple times. Straight up didn't hit the box there. Whatever. Works for me.
Yeah, it was just to the side. My name is Firebending and I'm here to teach you Zuko. So yeah, Aang's basically the only one that trusts Zuko on the grounds of he's the only one we could get to teach me firebending.
I think Sokka somewhat trusts him as well. Alright, so next up is the Sun Warrior Ruins, which is an Aang and Zuko level. Again, there's going to be some neat interaction with Zuko's Firewall and Aang's Tornadoes. But also, it's a level with Aang's Tornadoes, and it's not the secret bunkers, so we actually get to go out of bounds again. And there's a lot of out of bounds here.
Yeah.
This level is incredibly broken in any percent. So right after the start here, we're gonna go out of bounds. This first segment, you can just completely run to the very end. We have to clip back inbounds a little earlier in all Lotus Shards to actually grab some coins.
Yeah, it's as simple as we do all of the out of bounds we can without skipping Lotus Shards.
Or too many coins in this case.
Also the coins, yeah.
There we go. That should be good.
Yeah, one thing that's very helpful for tornado clipping is the fact that the hitbox for the tornado grabbing you and sending you is big enough that you can make the tornado inbounds and walk halfway inside the wall. But yeah, a lot of the puzzles in this stage are gonna revolve around using this synergy of redirecting the firewall using a tornado. Yeah, also these floors, these kind of floors have switches that will reveal spikes. And with some of the later puzzles, you'll have, some of the later puzzles will either skip them completely doing this kind of stuff, or you have to hit the switches in a specific order to get through them in the right way. Also, one funny thing you could try is make two tornadoes face each other, so you could like flip back and forth. But if the game realizes you're doing that, it will just
delete both tornadoes.
I thought it deleted only the first one you made.
Maybe that. That's another Lotus Shard you can easily lock yourself out of if you accidentally break the stack. Oh, nice. I got a fast clip there. Sometimes a smoke puff is actually enough to flip you out of bounds, but it's basically random. This clip back in bounds is a very particular one. It could be here for a while. There we go.
Yeah. Because again, the game does have a system to check for walls and will not let you make tornadoes tornadoes next to it. So yeah, it's a bit particular. Also, yeah, here these are location-sensitive spikes.
Yep. Whenever you go too close to them, they trigger. Little precise tornado placement. The length of the firewall actually has a limit, so in some later puzzles we actually have to place the tornadoes very close to the switches to actually hit all of them. Another little clip we can do here. It doesn't save that much time. I just like doing it. With how fast I did it, that might have actually saved a little bit of time. Right there would be proximity-based spikes blocking the path, so we can't just walk up there and shoot a firewall directly at the pillar. So you have to use a tornado to hit it from afar. Right here's another one of those gates where once one character passes, it stays opened.
Yeah, because you have to remove the firewall for Zuko to walk through.
Same with this one.
Yeah, this is the puzzle I mentioned earlier, where you have to hit the hit the switches in a particular order because of which set of spikes they spawn.
That might work. Yes, it does. Some more somewhat precise tornado placements. Sweet. Very evil Lotus Shard right here. Super easy to miss.
And yeah, it's right at the end of the stage. You can just walk past it, and then,
yeah, exactly.
And then you're gone.
There's no way to backtrack through these areas.
Also, yeah, for the cutscenes, there's no cutscene skipping per se. All you can do in the cutscenes is just click the text away as fast as possible, but the pauses between text boxes are still there, and yeah, there's nothing you can do there to speed it up.
Gonna fling fireball here. Oh wait, have to carry that fire over here. Just we're gonna keep carrying that. And this is the point where Aang officially learns firebending, but technically you can use firebending with Aang throughout the entirety of the stage already, so right from the get-go. But this is where the game reveals it to you that you can do this. Another very evil Lotus Shard hidden under the stairs there.
Yeah.
All right, and now we've got quite a bit of a cutscene, so if the host wants to pluck some stuff, now would be a great time.
Sure, I can do that. I can talk a little bit about the prices that we have, because if I'm just looking behind my screens at the moment, and you guys will see them in the interview coming up next, we have some lovely plushes, and you need to donate a minimum of 25 euros to enter basically the draw to get one of the prizes. And I really want to thank Renabo for sponsoring several prizes to BSG. Renabo is actually a plush maker and game developer who's currently working on Floating Wonderland, a retro-style 2D puzzle platformer that uses gravity to solve puzzles as you progress through several different stages. So please follow floating. Please follow @floatingwonder on Twitter for updates. And I think there's even more because they are still quiet.
Yeah.
Sure, have at it.
I just wanted to add that
Well-
during the event you may have seen the ads during the intermissions, and I've seen it, and I think it looks pretty interesting. So it's, you know, I agree that like that game is worth getting into.
Oh, you still wanted me to talk? Well, Double was speaking, and Double has also the next one after the interview, and which is good job. And we are kind of close to closing the bid war for the good job any % language. And at the moment, German is in the lead, and I need to look at Double at the moment. How good is your German?
We'll find out when it wins. I'll make this promise. You know, if people want if someone wants me to hear me completely butcher a particular language, I will read the text out loud in the particular language that wins.
Let's go.
So at the moment, German is still in the lead, but he's going to read it out loud. So if you have 45 euros, we can get Korean or Japanese. And I see Double's face already a little bit about that. So maybe make that happen. And if you want to be part of the scheduling team, we still need a category for hot lava, because we didn't have any donations towards any of the categories. And after Double's run, we need a category. So you can help us with that. And now back to Siver.
Thank you. So this is another Zuko and Sokka level, and I've already showed it multiple times now in this level. Zuko's firewall is another way to one-shot enemies, and particularly in that last room where they line up, it's just absolutely the fastest way. I'm gonna try to basically take out all the enemies here with firewall. It's a bit finicky because you can't really control it, and if you're too close, it doesn't really register the hit. Gotta make sure that both switches get hit here, because otherwise I'm gonna lock myself out of an not an elemental, a Lotus Shard.
Yeah. So yeah, you need a platform there to extend the firewall across the gap. Fire doesn't travel over air.
So yeah.
Also enjoy this cutscene.
Yeah. As per the story, after the failed invasion, Hakoda, which was Sokka's father, and Suki, another one of Sokka's friends, get prisoned in the Boiling Rock prison. And this is basically Zuko and Sokka infiltrating the prison and freeing them. Right. Some pretty nasty puzzles coming up in this segment specifically. Just gonna throw a firewall here and sneak behind it. You're supposed to like switch out and then get Sokka into that area to throw a boomerang to hit that pillar, but you can just sneak behind it with Zuko. You place it in a specific way. Whoops, I missed that. I'm just gonna do this one regularly. Nice. Very particular boomerang shot here. One thing you may have noticed is that whenever the boomerang hits a wall, it immediately stops what it's doing and returns to Sokka.
Yeah, it's mostly to prevent you throwing boomerangs through walls. So our response is to throw people through walls with tornadoes.
Purely to spite the developers.
Exactly.
All right. Now the final puzzle of the level. This is a very convoluted one, and especially when you first play this game casually, this can take you a while to figure out. It's also spread across a pretty large area, so a lot of components to consider. Oops, I did not want to tap back in there. So now we're gonna go all the way around, and we're gonna use Sokka's boomerang to redirect Zuko's firewall into the crate to break it. That's the only time you will ever use that.
Yeah, that's the end.
All right. We've got another pretty long cutscene coming up, so if the host has any more things to plug, have at it.
I have always stuff to plug.
Awesome.
I can speak for hours. First of all, I want to thank ESA for supporting the event and allowing us to stream on their channel. And if you want to go to more on-site speedrunning events like we are doing right now here in Venray, our brothers in the United Kingdom are hosting UKSG Autumn 2022 in Glasgow that runs the 3rd and the 4th of September 2022. And they'll be raising money for Crisis. And did you miss a previous run? Like, were you sleeping or did you have to work? You can still see that run because we are going to upload those to our YouTube channel. So please get subscribed because we have some cool, unique content coming to www.youtube.com/BSG Marathon.
All right.
Yeah, I still want to go to UKSG at some point. Gotta make plans for that.
There's a couple of speedrun events that I want to go to eventually. BSG has really been the only on-site one for me so far. It's just the closest.
As far as on site, yeah, it's also BSG. So yeah, would be good for me as well to look to branch out.
All right, so we're now in the final chapter of the game. And this is where we're now officially heading to defeat the Fire Lord once and for all. Aang has mastered all 4 elements, but he's kind of ran off on his own. So the troops are a little worried, but Aang has his own ideas of how to beat the Fire Lord. So he's going on his own journey. And in the meantime, Team Avatar is going to help best way they can. So Toph and Sokka are infiltrating the airship fleet and will be basically crashing them all. This is one of the most complicated levels in the run. There's a lot of puzzles. And also we get to make use of Sokka's boomerang again. Gonna hit that switch early because there's gonna be another puzzle coming up with the red and blue gates. So we can just skip that.
Yeah, we're progressively getting closer to the the climax of the story where.
Come on, get in there.
Nice. Where there's a comet, Sozin's comet is on the way, and remember how a solar eclipse completely takes the power for firebenders away, and how a full moon powers up waterbenders? Well, Sozin's comet is going to do that for firebenders, and the story sets itself up that firebenders will basically be unstoppable when Sozin's comet is here. So this is an attempt to basically defeat the Fire Nation before Sozin's comet
oh my god.
Arrives.
Hold on.
And
okay, I'm good. That got a little close.
Crisis averted. But yeah, with Sozin's comet, Ozai is giving himself a shiny new title of Phoenix King, and what Team Avatar is also going to do to stop is to stop the new Fire Lord Azula from being crowned and defeating her, and Zuko is gonna lead the charge on that because Azula is Zuko's sister.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yes, sir.
We got a €5 donation from Peppermint saying, "Good to see you, Ugyu. Best of luck on both of your runs."
Thank you for the €5.
Very specific placement of the platform there. All right, we're gonna wait for this buddy here to break the box, and then immediately throw a boomerang as soon as the path is clear. Gonna go out of my way to get some extra coins here.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
The blocks are too close to a wall. Some of the blocks get stuck actually. Oh my god, and it can lead to the stack breaking. This is a bit awkward. All right, I got it. Also gonna walk across the gate here real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty easy in this game to accidentally grab the wrong object. So it's like you're trying to move the bottom block, but you accidentally grab the top one and then drag that off the stack.
Can't kill this guy yet. We need him to break the box behind me, and preferably not die ourselves. This is fine. This is the second time in this level that I am on critical health.
So yeah, Sokka's boomerang, it doesn't change elevation as it travels. So yeah, that's a puzzle that showcases that you have to put the earth pillar at specific heights so Sokka can hit the switches with the boomerang.
Go. We're just gonna switch out some earth blocks so we can make use of the big one. Whoop.
Yep. Just one tiny obstacle at the end.
Wait, wrong way around. All right, so this is gonna be a very convoluted puzzle because we're gonna go for all Lotus Shards. So I'm gonna stack these two blocks on top of each other. Then I'm gonna move the stack onto this elevator. Elevate it all the way up again. So we can grab the big block, then drop it again, and then put it at a specific altitude so that Sokka can kind of use it as a staircase. So now we have this big block, which we're gonna take on a little bit of an adventure. And this is mandatory for this next Lotus Shard. There's no other way to get in. And I'm gonna make sure to drop back onto this, because if I would touch the floor there, it would trigger a combat sequence. And as I've already shown earlier, we can use 2 block tall earth blocks to just walk over these gates. So, small little skip right there. Here we're once again going to make use of, redirecting fireballs just to get some extra coins here.
Yeah.
And I believe this is the last puzzle. Yes, it is. Another pretty convoluted one.
Yeah, the element boxes do have, or the element balls that do have different properties to them. Like, yeah, the earth one redirects fireballs. Like you're playing Pong, and then water puts out fire.
Place this earth block all the way over there, and then move back. Yeah, right. Got a little confused there for a moment, but that's right. Perfect. All right, that's the last really difficult level out of the way, so should be smooth sailing from here on out. All right, the next level is really fun. It has another very interesting character combination of Zuko and Katara. On top of that, they both get new abilities in that level too. So, even more new mechanics, even this late into the run.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Sure thing.
We got a €5 donation from Single Purpose saying,
Hey.
a bit late, but good luck on the run, Siv. Love you.
Thanks, mate.
Well, thank you for the donation.
Right. You can ignore a few more enemies here. We're just gonna move right along.
Yeah, so yeah, the new abilities came into play immediately. Sostine's Comet, which I referenced before as part of the story. It's powering up firebenders, and Zuko is a firebender, so it's powering him up as well, which means he can. Before you always shot the firewall in a straight line. Now you can just redirect it.
Yeah, you can then just draw the line now anywhere you want.
Yeah,
with full control over it.
Yeah, and then Katara's new ability is pulling ice blocks from these water grates of sorts and move those around.
Gonna cheese this puzzle real quick there.
Yeah. Didn't really break anything. That was just big brain.
Yeah. Yeah, and the redirectable firewall is just very handy at taking out enemies. Before you would have to be like pretty precise with where you shoot your firewall. Now you can just basically draw a line where the enemies are. Kind of like this. Oops.
That's it. Heading into this area just for this Lotus Shard. Bit of a lengthy one. And then there's the actual proper puzzle.
Ah, come on. Okay.
Bit of a
screen lock.
Yeah, a bit of a camera lock because you were at this puzzle. So yeah, here's some more bloodbending.
Pretty tight areas to put the firewall into, but you can barely make it. Also, another interaction with the firewall.
Yeah. Water puts out fire, fire melts ice.
Nope. Little glitch right there. We're once again making use of the fact that some gates check for you if you ever pass them, and then they stay open. Basically, when you sink into water like that, the game detects you still as moving, and at a certain point it thinks, oh yeah, you passed the gate, so it just opens it.
Yeah. I forget, is the limit to how many ice blocks you can grab?
I'm not sure.
I reckon that would be, because I don't imagine the developers would want you just tapping it to make like a stack of 9 ice blocks.
Just build an army of ice blocks, why not?
An army of ice to take on the world. Okay, that gap was just short enough that you didn't fall.
Yeah. I didn't hit it.
I went just wide.
All right. And one last little quick segment here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's behind the 7th pillar, the last Lotus Shard.
Yeah, and this was Zuko and Katara on their way to stop Fire Lord Azula.
This is going to be our second fight with Azula now. Nowhere near as annoying as the first one, luckily, but...
Yeah, it's very different. So yeah, first is...
Yeah, it's basically an auto-scroller, so... Just gotta make sure that I don't do anything super stupid. You can get a few hits in before she goes back into that little phase where she surfs on her fire.
Yeah, this...
It's about the only thing you can do to speed this up.
The only thing that really comes to mind to compare it to is the inkjet from Splatoon. Because yeah, she's also leaving around fire, shooting fire at you. And yes, something to mention about these element balls is there's a certain amount of hits you can press down you can do on people before the element vanishes.
Yeah, it's 5 hits max.
5 hits max, and yeah, this is not... It's 5 hits, and regardless of like the momentum the hits had.
Yep.
which is also why in the earlier stages, after a sequence of enemies, Siver would always drop the element and grab a new one to just constantly refresh it and just never have to worry about running out. Like refresh it during downtime.
Sula just ran me over with her little thing.
Right, so now she has one sliver of health left. This is the only RNG part, is where you have to wait for her to jump onto one of the ice panels and then you can freeze her and end the fight.
Yeah, she can sometimes also jump on parts where there's no ice panel, so it ends up with her just like hopping around in the room, being a bit of a nuisance. But luckily, we got there.
Basically perfect RNG because the first jump was on there.
All right, and time for the final boss. Here it is, the greatest 1v1 in the universe: Aang versus Ozai.
Yeah, there's Soensi's Comet in the background, and yeah. This is what the power-up does for him. He gets big. He pulls a page out of Bowser's book.
Yeah, basically. What's it with video games and just making final bosses big? Big equals strong.
But hey, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So in the series, there's this when Aang gets into a really intense emotional state, he can activate what is called the Avatar trance, and he's usually not in control of it. But now he's learned to control his Avatar powers, and he's now activating it at will, having super mastery of all elements.
All right, but this boss fight is really not that awesome as it is set up because we're basically just sitting here spamming.
Yeah.
That's all we do. We didn't get to skip the Firebauer. If you get enough hits in fast, you can skip that and just basically transition into the next phase. Time is coming up, by the way. It will be when I land the final hit onto Ozai, which will be very soon. And time.
Time. So yeah, something we didn't get to mention during the fight because it's so fast is as you... So when you start out, what Siver used was the air attack, which is from Aang himself, throwing air balls at him. There was a patch of water on the right side where you could pull water from. Then after you do the first phase, you get also get the ability to use Earth, and you're intended to use that to block the lightning that he was shooting out. But because the fight's so fast, Siver just face tanks it.
Yeah.
And then after the second phase, you also get to use fire.
Yep, but you can just use one element and that's it.
Yeah, so this is the end of the story. The ultimate way to defeat Ozai is Aang used his mastered Avatar trance state powers to just take away Ozai's bending ability. So he just cannot bend anymore.
Hey, didn't you used to be famous?
And now he gets sad. Yeah, that was Avatar to the Inferno. I hope you enjoyed. It
was actually a really good run. Holy.
It's a cool...
1:20.54. That is like 20 seconds away from world record. Not bad.
There were no... Yeah, everything went pretty smoothly as well.
Yeah. I was honestly expecting to just die somewhere and having to restart the level. That luckily didn't happen, so... Hey, I'm all for it. Alright, I guess we can just... go back to the menu and actually check if I got all Lotus Shards.
Yep.
If everything goes well, I should have 66 Lotus Shards now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, thanks for
Island. Yep, 66 Lotus Shards. Awesome.
All right, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Took a few tries to get me here. So to tell a little bit of a quick story is. Siver has run this game at BSG a few times before, and basically something always got in the way. Yeah. Now we finally did it. So yeah, say your final words, and then we'll sign off.
Yeah, I mean, I would shout out the community, but I'm kind of the only runner of this game at the moment. But big shout out to Double Double for actually showing up this time and providing some good co-commentary. Definitely easier when you have someone that also knows stuff about the game. And yeah, I guess... Shoutouts to my chat, shoutouts to Single Purpose who donated earlier. Love you, dude.
Yeah, I'll be back later for good job. See you later.
Yeah, I guess we'll just send it back to the staff now. And yeah, now up next is an interview, I believe. So have fun with that. See you.
Yeah, thank you, Siver, for that amazing Avatar run. I definitely want to see the series again after seeing this run. Next up, we got an interview by Shadow Frost and by Wartap. So please stay tuned.